Okay, today we're here with Tyler Pendleton, former Rhea County standout at football, now at the University of the Cumberlands. So you started Red Dogs, first grade, played up to the fifth grade. And what position did you play at Red Dogs?
I was always overweight, though I always had a weight limit to carry the ball, and I would always miss it by like 2 or 3 pounds. And I'd have a huge stripe down my helmet that wouldn't let me carry the ball, so I'd always play center, and I think I played defensive end. I made the weight cut a couple times and got to carry the ball.
So,
and it was pretty successful. I enjoyed it.
Yeah.
My 8th grade year, I played fullback.
You did play
fullback.
Okay,
yep.
that's what I was trying.
Played fullback.
So you finally got a chance in your 8th grade year to play fullback.
Yeah.
Tell us about that. What was that like, going from a guy just kind of in the trenches, getting a chance to tote the ball a little bit?
I mean, I enjoyed it. I can't remember too much from middle school football, but it was fun to carry the ball and get out and run a little bit as much as I can. I enjoyed it. We ran the wing tee under Coach Davis. I really enjoyed Coach Davis. He was a fun guy to be around, and he made it fun. And I liked running over. I always had a bad habit of trying to run over people instead of running around them. So I'd be running down the field, and it'd be me and a defensive back, and I'd run right at him instead of trying to run around him. Which was, if I could go back, I'd ran the other way, around him.
So you weren't overly big.
No, it was all
just that mentality.
Yeah, I had it up there. I just didn't have it here yet.
Okay. And on the defensive side.
Yeah, I'd still always try to stick my face in there and hit people. But I've always played linebacker, ever since middle school. They've always had me at linebacker.
What is the mental process of being a linebacker? I mean, it takes a special person to play linebacker.
Honestly, I think it's the hardest position on the field, maybe besides quarterback. You've got to be pretty versatile. Got to be fast enough to hit receivers crossing the middle. You've got to be able to run down running backs. You've got to be strong enough to tackle them. So it's pretty tough. As far as mentality, you always have to play downhill. You can't be scared of contact. You can never shy away from contact. If you have the opportunity to just light somebody up, you have to establish that. Always like the first play of the game, always just like if it's a run play or just whatever kind of play it is, I always like to just get one good hit in those first couple plays of the game, just to kind of let the other team know that like I'm here, I'm going to be here all day. At every level, especially since high school and especially college, they really harp on that. All the time they're saying knock down crossing routes, don't let them run across the middle, because a lot of times in the Mid-South Conference, the little short passing games across the middle, those little dumps, that's what'll hurt you.
Yeah,
a lot of offenses run those.
Obviously, previous interview you talked about the things that you like most about, that you look back and really treasure most about your high school career, and that was just those cliches type of things, the trips, the Friday night, the late nights,
in the locker room with all your buddies before practice, the away games, joking around on the bus, probably when we shouldn't have been, the coaches getting mad at us, spending the entire summer together, just all the cliche things that you always hear everybody say and talk about. It's the truth. Those are the things that you miss the most.
Was there a special game that really stands out in your memory that you kind of replay over and over?
The games kind of morph together as time goes on, but there's 2 games that really stick out to me, and it was probably the Cookville game my junior year, and the Cookville game my junior year, and then the Knox West game my junior year. I just remember that the Cookville game was just a tough game. It was 2 really good teams going at it, and you always remember Jake, that big play that he made.
Oh yes.
I'll never forget hugging Coach Mitchell at the end. And somebody actually I think it was Valencia Hill. She got a picture of it.
Did you?
Yeah, it was a really good picture. I think it was Valencia. I'm not for sure. And then the Knox West game, of course, that was a heartbreaker. I still feel like we were the best team in the state that year, 5A. We should have won state, but that was like going into high school. I had set 2 goals for myself. I'd like to have been an all-state selection, and then of course I wanted to win state and have a state championship ring. And then when I got to the Cumberlands, there was actually an offensive lineman from Knox West, and of course he would have to show off his ring and tell me how nice it fit and stuff like that. So
That must have been a little tough.
It was all joking.
I know it.
He's a good guy. I like Isaiah.
Yeah. Now, Coach Pemberton just really turned around Rhea County program when he got here. And talk about when you first met Coach Pemberton and that initial impression you had of Coach Pemberton.
We were sitting in the library of the old high school, and they told us, of course, we had just been told that Coach Green was retiring, and I didn't know what was going on. I was just kind of going with the flow. I was just following everybody, following the upperclassmen, and everybody goes to the library, and I see this man sitting in there, and he's got these rings on his finger, and he's kind of walking with his swagger about himself. And the thing that stuck out the most, and he told us that he didn't want to build a program, and he wasn't here to build a program, that he wanted to win now. And I'll never forget that tone of his voice when he said that he wanted to win now, and I could just tell that like he was different. He had just a different mentality about him, and I clicked with him right away. Of course, I didn't speak to him because I was too shy. Just kind of found my way out of the back of the library when everything was done, but I could tell that he was the real deal, and that he was going to be something different to play under, and he was. But I just remember he'd kind of twist his rings as he would introduce himself, and I was like, oh, he's been through the ringer. He knows what it takes.
After your 4 years looking back, what is it about Coach Pemberton that you really fondly remember the most? Or is that the right word?
No, that Coach Pemberton. He every day, sometimes even at every level you kind of come out and you're like, oh, I got to go to football practice today. And then you get out there and Coach Pemberton, he'll kind of stand in the middle of the field and everybody will warm up and he'll just look around, and it's just like he knows that you're not feeling it that day, and he will come and he will tear into you. He will make sure that day that you're not feeling it, that you'll give 110%, and you'll work harder that day than the day that you come out and you are feeling it and you want to be out there. And he has just the way he carries himself. You can just tell that he's been there and he's put in the work and he knows what it takes, and he really cares about you, but at the same time, he's going to get after you. And at the end of the day, he'll tell you that he loves you and he'll smack you on the top of the helmet, but he'll make sure that you do your job and you're held accountable. And that's the big thing. I could tell that he held everybody accountable. When we would watch film and stuff, it was basically like a big session for him to call people out. And at the same time, he would tell people that they did a good job and stuff. But I think like we were still developing like at that level, and just the way that he handled, I don't know what I'm trying to say, just the way that he handled our mistakes as players, even as people outside off the football field, we were held accountable just because we represented him. I know for me, he really taught me a lot about what it means to be a man, and just being a man, and just being held accountable, keeping your word, always doing what's right, even when nobody's looking. But when he got there, it was just like, he made me feel like, I play linebacker at Rhea County, I'm going to hurt someone. Like, I am that guy. Like, I can do this. And he put that confidence. He gave us a swagger about ourselves. He came in, and even before he got there, Coach Harmon, he was our weightlifting coach my entire time there, and he had already kind of started instilling that in the weight room, and started developing us more as athletes. and you put the Pemberton in there, and he kind of pieced it all together. And like you said, completely changed the culture. I mean, there was a swagger about it. Even walking the hallways, people were excited. They were so excited about the Friday nights.
What was academics on the priorities for you?
It always came before football. I have to credit that to my parents. They always stressed it, even when we were little. My dad, I can remember my dad sitting at the kitchen table when I was in 3rd grade, going over multiplication tables, and teaching me tricks, and just always stressing that it's not just going to come over a day, or overnight. It's a sprint. It's a marathon, not a sprint. Even my dad always helped me with math and science, and my mom always helped me, always proofread my papers in middle school. And then when I got to high school, I kind of knew, when I got acquainted, like as a freshman and stuff, I kind of knew what it was going to take, and I kind of knew the work that I had to put in. And I never really asked my parents for help after that. Once I kind of figured it out on my own, what it was going to take, and they weren't going to accept any less, and I can't thank them enough for that. But academics, I've never considered myself like an extremely intelligent person. I've just always studied so much, and I've always put myself in a position to score really well on tests, or if I knew that an assignment was coming up, I've always have it done 2 or 3 days before, and I've kind of carried that same mentality out throughout my studies.
Yeah. Talk about your transition to college ball from high school. Talk about your kind of first couple of weeks at practice at Cumberland's, and what was it like to see all these guys? I know you've probably seen them in all-star games, but to be on the practice field on a day-in, day-out practice with guys that were just bigger and faster as a whole than a lot of guys you went against in high school.
It was humbling. It was a very humbling experience. Not to sound overzealous, but at the high school level, there's 3 or 4 guys that were as big and as fast and as strong as you, but for the most part, you were just kind of, it was just kind of, you could just tell. And then when you get to college, it's just like, you're kind of back down here, and everybody else is up here. Everybody's as big as you, everybody's as fast as you, and everybody's as strong as you. If not more. Training camp my freshman year was the most physically demanding thing that I've done in my entire life.
So was there a time at Cumberland's that you kind of arrived and said, I really think I can do this. This is not as hard as I thought it was, or kind of you felt like you belonged on the field?
Yeah. A little while in camp, we set up an Oklahoma drill, and I got down, and Coach Reimer walked over to me and he said, "I want you to show me that you can play at this level." And I was like, I just got completely zoned in. I just kind of went into this different. I don't know how to explain it, but I ended up coming down and hitting a guy that was a lot bigger than me, and I got an extension on him and shed the block and made the tackle, and everybody kind of like swarmed me and was patting me and was hyping me up. And Coach Reimer came over there and gave me a high five, and I think that was a turning point for me. I was like, I think I can play with these guys. I think I can do this. I think I can contribute to this team.
Coming into your junior year, are you one of those guys that makes goals?
I want to do things really well, and I want to do my job so well that it enhances someone else on the field, and they can do their job really well, and it ends up, especially like as a defensive unit, like we end up having a really good defensive game or something like that. So I would say, as far as I guess I do set goals. Every game, every week when we're going through, we're watching film and we're going over, what we need to do to be successful and win the game. I guess I would set goals to do my job to the best of my ability and help everybody else out around me, to make sure that they do their job and they can always lean on me if they need it and ask me questions on the field. But as far as like stats and stuff like that, I've never been too concerned with stats. You know, I've never been that guy that says, I want to go in this game and I want to have at least 15 tackles. That's never really something that I've set out to do. Just happened indirectly. You know, those kind of things come when you're worried about doing your job and making sure that everybody else is doing their job. And I think that you get those things from doing all the little things right.
Okay.